in our little pad, looking down Sukhumvit. Pretty cool. Sun is setting. Still got a couple of hours, but I wanted to give you this little video. This is a talking video, obviously. And a couple of tips about traveling as gentle little beings. It is challenging, to be fair. We do not have the same capabilities as what intense go-getter people do. So you have to give yourself that. You have to give yourself time. We've just gone through something recently here, actually. Even though this is the third time we have set off, we always go through something. And you think you'd have it sorted by now, but something always grabs you by surprise. So what we used to do, which we didn't do this time, was we had some habits, and one of those habits was to give yourself time to settle into your location. It's also just getting time to get used to the energy, because it's weird, it's different every place you go. Doesn't matter if you're on the beach for 6 months in Bali or in the middle of Bangkok for 6 weeks off. I mean, obviously the middle of Bangkok's different, but all energies, it's sort of different in different places, so you have to give yourself time to sort of reconcile with that, and also give yourself time to be gentle with the people you're traveling with, because you're going through something, they're going through something, so you got to sort of recognize that to be softer and more forgiving, I guess, in those moments. We've always found after a couple of days you tend to sort of gel with the environment, but it's something we didn't do this time, really. Partially because I think this is like the third time or fourth time we've come back to this spot, like this hotel. So we thought we would have sort of just gelled straight into it, but yeah, it took us a moment. The other thing that we used to do that we didn't do this time was whenever you get to a place, always think of the positives that are in that place. Every place has positives and negatives. And when you are sort of finding it difficult to gel with your surroundings, you can sort of easily get into the negative mindset, which just takes you longer to, get out and get into the area. When you get sort of negative, you have negative thoughts, and you can also bring the person down that you're traveling with. But it just, when you're being negative or talking negative, it just seems to take you an extra couple of days to sort of get through that negativity, and then it's almost like you've lost yourself a week by giving yourself time to settle in and getting through the little things that annoy you. And so a habit that we didn't do this time, but we used to always do, was always every day get up and think about the things that are positive of the environment, and make sure you go to those things, whether you have the capacity to do big things or just the capacity just to get a coffee or something, or a tea or something. Whatever that is, just helps to keep on reminding yourself of those things. Something that we didn't do this time. The other thing that the third thing I guess we always like to do is just make sure you always write the things you're grateful for, because I feel like those during that time, it really helps you stop and live in the moment, because ultimately you're doing something that like 95, 99% of the world can't do. And so once you stop being stupid, I guess, not stupid, but once you stop just having a feeling like those negative thoughts and feelings, then you sort of feel a bit bad about yourself because you're like, oh man, you know, like you beat yourself up a little bit. So you sort of have to then go through that emotion as well. So yeah, we found that taking that time to be grateful really helps. And I guess just making you sort of appreciate what you're doing, but also just appreciate just how lucky you are. So those are the 3 tips, like initially, to get yourself grounded in an area. And just outside of that, we are both very gentle souls, and we need quite a lot of downtime. So we always generally recognise that when we're travelling, like on the travel days. I don't think this time we did. We sort of did something. We did something a little unusual, which we don't normally do, where we came to Bangkok and then we just did a weekend at Hong Kong and came back again. We don't normally do that. And that all happened sort of quite quickly when we got here. Which threw us off a little bit, I think. And so we've almost had to like reset a couple of times in this journey, which has been weird. Because we thought that would take it. We thought by coming back to an area that we know and the hotel that we know, that we would sort of gel into it easier. But you know, you always have those things you go through anyway. So when we travel, like on the travel days, we always make sure we give ourselves, you know, the day before to sort of get into that mindset of you know, being in a very intense environment, being around lots of people, talking to lots of people, and then the following day we always make sure we are very gentle on ourselves as well. Doesn't matter how short the airplane trip is, it's always a big travel day, especially internationally. Will generally be 6 hours because, you know, it's 2 hours to get to the airport beforehand, 2 hour flight, 2 hours, maybe not 2 hours, but an hour after, or maybe 2 hours depending on how far away you are from the hotel, the airport you're saying. So yeah, it can be 6 hours. That's your day really. So and then the next day we just make sure we just take the time to recover from that travel day. And like sometimes it takes us a couple of days really to sort of find our way, and we make sure that we give ourselves space and time to, I guess, go through those moments, and then so that we can enjoy the place after we've sort of gone through that, I guess. So yeah, anyway, so that was, I just want to do a couple of travel tips for gentle travellers that we go through. Hope you enjoyed the video. We'll have more coming out, of course, soon. Cool. Later. Final goodbye to beautiful Bangkok.